Hello, everybody. Let me fix a couple things. I want to welcome you to Economics and Comics. We have a special show today.
Hello, everybody. Let me fix a couple
wait.
things. I want to welcome.
There you go. We got a special show today. I don't know. There's only one person in here right now. I'm sure people will start coming. It is Easter. But let me just fix one more thing so I can see the chat while I'm talking. And there you go. Before we get started, I want to tell everyone happy Easter, and I appreciate everyone that comes. This is going to be a really special video, well, live feed, because I think it's really important that people know what I myself think is going on and getting an opinion of someone that really knows what's going on as well, in regard to grading and speculation. I wanted to wish, everyone in here, Scott, Party, Time, Lion, Cody, love you guys all. Happy Easter. But I wanted to give a special Easter shout out to two people. First up is Hulk Nuts. Now, Hulk Nuts is a tough son of a gun, and he's a good friend of mine. And he's keeping me on the straight and narrow, and I appreciate it. I love you, brother. Happy Easter to you and your family, of course, everyone else. And a person called Lady Variant. I gave her a thumbs up or something on a Instagram last night. I don't have a really big Instagram. She's got a really big one. And she messages back, I really like your show. And that stuff's important to me because I want to reach out to the female audience as well. I think it's important to have a good mix. And I want to appeal to that crowd too. So thank you so much. And now to introduce my guest to everybody, we have Jason from COMICCRYPTOSTOCK. Welcome, man. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter, brother. Nice to be here.
If you guys don't know who he is, just by any chance, I want to give information to my subs who love me and I love them, the best information possible. And people that watch me love spec, and they love new comic book day stuff, and they love grading and an assortment of different things. And Jason from COMICCRYPTOSTOCK on YouTube, he reached out to me almost about a month and a half ago, really early, and about some special things with low prints and stuff like that. And I started watching his stuff, and it is absolutely amazing. He does gigantic unboxings. I thought I did big CGC unboxings. This guy is just amazing. He just did a Happy Easter, everybody. He just did a video where he cracked Amazing Fantasy 15 and pressed it. And man, that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, dude, I was really thinking, hey, this is one that could go viral, but so far it hasn't. But yeah, we're getting some people watching it, so I'm glad to see that people that are enjoying it.
Well, I'm hoping that my subs will check you out, sub him up. I'm telling you, he's a no nonsense guy. He doesn't deal with any type of drama or anything like that. He is just unboxing and dropping mad knowledge, especially in regard to you do get some old keys and stuff like that, but
yeah,
you're purchasing based on spec.
Correct. Yeah, most of it is spec. And kind of what my theory is look, I zone into certain books. And then I'll kind of keep buying them over and over again, based on, just kind of, I get really super familiar with the cover so that I can see little defects on eBay and whatnot, so that I know, like, hey, this book should grade a 9.4, 9.6, and every once in a while I'll get lucky, pull a 9.8. I'll take some of those 9.8s and stick them into the retirement fund. That's kind of my game plan. And I have certain books that I'm doing that with. And if people watch my channel, they'll be able to figure it out really quick, man, because they'll see me buying a lot of the same things over and over.
Hey, Jason, is it possible to turn up the volume? One person said low volume.
Gosh, I don't know. My mic is all the way up. I can grab my other mic.
Well, let me ask everyone else really fast. Can you guys hear him okay? Because I can hear him just fine, and I have the volume turned down. So I thought it sounded great. I just want to check with them before we get started. And of course, there's some lag, so it'll be a second.
Yeah, I know. I freaking hate the lag.
It's not you. It's just
just the YouTube lag. I don't know why they have to do that.
Some people say it's a little it's a little low, but they can hear you. Sounds good. And we're good. Well, maybe just talk a little louder and that'll fix it. So
Okay.
again, you guys, I really suggest for my subs who enjoy speculation and stuff like that, comic creating, to check out Comic Crypto Stock. I'm telling you, I've never seen anything like it. I don't think there's anyone on YouTube that does these type of massive unboxing and has such a grasp on what's hot immediately and tips to turn around, and you're making a business out of it, a game of it. I know you're a hardworking guy, and on your off time you do this, and you're really investing. And I'm learning a lot from watching you. And I'm not saying that I don't have knowledge. I do, and that's why I have you here, because I think we need to tackle two main topics today that I would love to talk to you about, and I know that you have the knowledge. The first topic would be CGC versus CBS. What's happening now since the buyout? It's been about a year that BGS bought CBCS. And I'll be more specific in a second, and we'll start with that. And the other thing is about speculation in general and how it's good for comic books and basically, you know, really helping them thrive in my mind and maybe yours. So I want to pick your brain about it. So let's just go ahead and get started. And I'll try to be as specific as possible with you, okay? So we don't overlap, because people are going to say different things. I want to talk about, since the buyout, the BGS, and we all know, well, if we don't all know, BGS is the biggest grading company for, they have coin, sports cards. If you collected sports cards, you wanted BGS. If you had to choose between PSA and BGS, I think BGS was the way you went. Beckett. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah.
And so, because they're very tough. And I used to get great sports cards. I used to be a big time sports card collector. And I'm sure you were too. And I spent a grip, and it was very hard to get a 9.5, you know, from, yeah. And so anyway, we're not going to be talking about turnaround time. We're not going to be talking about old books. I want to specifically talk about modern books, if that's okay with you.
Sure.
And what I've seen, and I'll give you a quick example, and then I'm going to let you just take it, okay? Okay, so I use CGC religiously, period. Now, when CBCS bought them out, I said, wow, BGS bought CBCS. And the instant in my mind I said, oh man, just wait, you know? And I've been watching. Now I, you know, do plenty of unboxings, and I've worked at comic book stores, and I've seen plenty of unboxings, and I send in books, and I'm very careful about sending. I don't send anything with any question to CGC because I want 9/8. Okay. But I also am in contact with a guy who has a company that goes to Comic Cons, and he's a CBCS witness. Okay. And they'll get hundreds of books signed. Okay. And I'll tell you what, man, there are not a lot are coming back 9/8 with CBCS. Okay. They are being extremely harsh on grades. If the book doesn't look perfect, then it's not. Now, what I've noticed with CGC now within the year time period, maybe the last 6 months, is people are getting CGC slab 9/8s that look like 9/4s. They have spine ticks, you know, more than allowed if there isn't. If I've ever got a spine tick on my slab a year ago, it was not a 9/8. And color break and stuff that's unimaginable to pass as a 9/8 through CGC. Now, I'm not trying to attack them at all, because again, they're my favorite company. But I have noticed that CBCS, in regard to modern books, their 9/8s are absolutely flawless. And I think there has been a change. And I think that even though there's a low turnaround time, we're not going to get into that and all that, CBCS has changed and are very difficult on their grades. Now, I don't think you, and I've been buying CBCS books now. I didn't before, but if I can get one for cheap, I buy it because I know it's solid. Now, you know, after watching videos, dude, you're doing hundreds of CGC unboxings nonstop, and I've heard you comment about it. Like, I can't believe this came back a 9/8, or my God, this is a 9/8. or you send in a 9.4 and you
Yep.
get a 9.8.
Yep.
So I'm picking your brain because you definitely go through more books than I do in regard to slabs and modern. So what have you seen? What's your experience? Let's drop some knowledge on us.
Sure. So I would say maybe a year ago is when I started to notice the change. It was very, very small in the beginning. And I'll give you my theory, and I've got a couple, okay? So about a year ago to, maybe a year and a half ago, CGC's turnaround time was about 3 months. And then all of a sudden, we saw that turnaround time decrease. So at first I was like, yes, this is awesome. I'm getting books back faster, which means I can rotate the investment faster, which is going to, be all positive things. So I got really, really happy. Well, fast forward a little bit more and, I'm getting books back graded a little bit higher than what I thought, and it used to be maybe, well, I graded this one a 9.4, they gave it a 9.6. Okay, that can happen. There's times where I think it's a 9.6 and they'll give it a 9.4. So I didn't pay too much attention. Then, I'll even talk about specific videos. I sent a J. Scott Campbell Domino #1, the best one, the Wings of Fire, the blue one with the kind of like the butterfly wings with the guns in the back. That book had the infinitesimally small, it was tiny. You could hardly see it. Spine stress that broke the color only on the front. This thing is so small you couldn't see it. So when I unboxed it, I was looking at it and I was like, oh, this one's got the tiniest little spine stress. It's not going to be a 9.8. So I didn't send it for a while. Well, then I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and try and sneak it in on pre-screen. Let's see what happens. And it came back in 9.8. So that was kind of the start of like, I was like, okay, well, in my mind, a 9.8 could not have any color breaking spine stress. Let's just talk about spine stresses, and
I'm 100% in agreement with you on there, by the way. Go for it.
Sure. So it was like if there was any spine stress, that immediately knocked it to a 9.6. So that was kind of the way I would set up my pre-screens. So when that one came back, a 9.8, I was like, okay, well, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. CGC's the expert. I'm wrong. So 9.8s can have an infinitesimally small spine stress only on one side. So I kind of stuck that in my mind and I kept going. Even though I never sent books in that had spine stresses, unless it was some high dollar book that I don't care about the grade. That's different, right? So if it's just a modern that it's 9.8 or break, I'm not going to send those in on a pre-screen because it's just not worth it to me to get hit for a $5 reject fee for no reason. So I stuck that in my head and I kept going. Well, I'll tell you what, this last unboxing from a month and a half ago, 3 books came back much higher grades than I had them at. I had 2 Ultimate Fallout 4 variants that I was grading, I believe, 9.4 and 9.2. They came back 9.8 and 9.6. So I was blown away. The 9.8, I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it had 4 color breaking spine stresses. And I was like,
how does a 9.8 have 4 color breaking? Look, a year ago, Jason, when I was sending in books, I would send in like maybe 2 years ago, I would send in like 15 books to get the quick press or whatever I was doing. And I was getting 9.6 like you wouldn't believe. And they were pretty much maybe 1 tick. I learned how to grade now where I send in perfection and I don't do anything. And I expect a 9.8 on perfection. For comic book store owners, people on eBay, people are buying 9.8s that have color breaks that, it's insane.
I agree.
And I cannot, I seriously think that CBCS has made a big move. They are saying, look, we are going to grade like we did at BGS. And we're going to be the best.
Which would be fantastic.
It is fantastic. And then they go, and CGC's gone, we're going to grade as many books as we can, as fast as we can, and we're going to let some go. And it's turning out, if you buy a 9.8 on a new slab 9.8 on eBay, and you get it and you're like, dude, this has 2 color breaking spine ticks and some other issues. This is not a 9.8. People get pissed off. They're like, well, I know it's slabbed a 9.8, but dude, I know it's not.
Yeah, believe me, dude. I've sold a couple books that I was scared that I was going to get some returns opened. Hasn't happened yet. You know, and one guy, you know, I sold both of those Ultimate Fallout 4s, and then used that money to buy a whole bunch more. You know, I bought like 3 more and then some other stuff as well. So, you know, the one guy that bought the 9.6, he's like, hey, describe the defects to me. And I described it to him. I said, hey, it's got, you know, a few color breaking spine stresses that they're very small. And on the back cover, you know, there's a little bend in the corner that you can't really see in the photos, but it's there. And to me, if there's a bend in the corner, even if it's on the back, that's a 9.2.
Oh my God.
It is a 9.2.
I'm with you, man. I want to say really fast to everyone. I can't read everyone out in the chat, but we have almost 50 people in here. Nice. And it's Easter Sunday. And I want to thank you guys for joining. Me and Jason both have events coming up a little bit later. And we wanted to do this yesterday, but we're glad that you guys showed up, because I think it's really important to understand that we both truly have knowledge when it comes to submitting. Now, I'm willing to bow down to Jason, okay, because I've seen it for myself. But together, I think that conquering this topic is important. Now, there's another person in here right now, Tony Trombetta. Now, I don't know if you've talked to him yet, Jason.
I actually have. Me and Tony spent like 2 hours on the phone. Great guy.
Now, he's a new grading company out there, okay? And I tested some stuff. I tested his stuff out, and it's pretty nice. He's just starting, and he does, just a quick shout out, he does yellow label authentication, which is great. You know, if he'll figure if it's real signature, and he'll give you a yellow label, which is great. So if you want to check him out, in my link below, you can go EGS Grading. He's got a little coupon code. You can send it. He's a new company, but he's a really nice guy. Now, back to the and welcome everyone. Happy Easter again. Back to the topic. So I watched, you know, since we've been talking, and I've come to really like you. You're a great guy. And I've been watching a lot of your videos, like your older ones, and getting caught up. Now, I've seen you unbox like 100 books. I don't know how many Miles Morales, NYXs. Now, I'm telling you right now, I want one. Like, that's the one book, the first X23, that I don't have, and I've always wanted.
I'm up to 7 9/8s now, and my kind of midterm goal was to get up to 10 9/8s. They all look good. You know, they're not actually NYX. They haven't beat me up and given me, you know. Oh shit. Anyway, I don't know what's going on, but anyway, so I haven't got any NYX 3s that with multiple spine ticks on them they decide to give a 9.8 to yet. But anyway, so that's a book I highly recommend, especially for the females that are coming in. You know, that Batman of Interest 12, you know, so on and so forth.
Yeah, and you're right on the money. You just recently did an unboxing of, like, I don't know how many dies you bought, but I mean, dude, you bought a lot. But, you know, and you did that Miles Morales one. How many Miles Morales did you send in on that one big submission?
Oh, I don't know. Somewhere's around 80, I think.
And how many did you get back 9/8?
I think it was somewhere's around upwards of 70, 72, 73.
Okay, now these all had, now I know you have a good presser, but these all had that little.
Yes, every single Ultimate Fallout 4, if it is still in the poly bag, is going to have a crease on either the front or the back. I've seen it where if they've been packed in distributor bags, it can have a crease front and back. And it is almost impossible to get out. You know, I found the one guy that can do it 90% of the time, but even there's some that he can't get out, you know. So every one of those books, you got to be careful.
That's my point, though, is, yeah, you might have pressed some of them out, but out of almost 80 that you sent in, you got roughly around 70 back 9/8s.
Yeah.
That just does not sound correct to me. And I mean, I've heard you say millions of times, dude, how did this got in? Oh, I expect this to be a 9.4. And you pull it out, it's a 9.8.
Yeah.
I mean, you just turned a book that would be $40 into $2,500 or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's really working out for you. That's great. But it's been dinging this alarm in my head nonstop. And
Here, let me go real deep on you, Bill. This is gonna
That's
stir
what
up
she
some
said.
shit. And here is a theory. It's just a theory, and I'm not bashing CGC because, like you, I use them religiously. For me, they're the monopoly. I can't use anyone else because I sell books. Okay, so I love them. Let's go deep. Early days of CGC, okay, they were super freaking ridiculously strict. Literally all the submissions I did back in 2000, I was always disappointed. Like, oh, that's a 9.4. Oh my God, that's a 9.6. Okay, they were super, super hard. Fast forward to probably close to 10 years later, they took their grading standards from here, they dropped it to here. Now, what did that cause? That caused people to start looking for older labels. What are they doing with the older labels? This was even before pressing was commonplace. They would buy the older labels, crack them, and resubmit them. So now CGC at this level was paid to grade that book. They were paid again to grade that book here. Now they've lowered the standards to here. Now people are looking for these books and these books to crack and regrade and press now.
And press.
And press. So the thing is, it's in their financial interest to keep lowering their standards because people are going to keep resending the damn books. So is this a cash grab? Are they trying to make more money to grade the same book 3 or 4 times? Let me look at Hulk 181 is the most resubmitted book in the industry. There's Hulk 181s that have been submitted 3, 4, 5 times. That's just cha-ching money going to CGC. It's in their financial interests to grade less and less, strict, so we keep sending the books over and over again. Now, are they doing that? I don't know, but it's some food for thought.
Well, that's kind of why I wanted to be specific on just modern, because I still think CGC is pretty tough on older books.
Yeah, I do too. I do too.
But someone just asked me, and this is kind of what I'm getting to, and it's very difficult to actually say this, but someone just asked, so is CBCS the better option these days with Beckett backing? Now, here's the toss-up with this. Unfortunately, if you're looking for resale, I would still go with CGC because most likely you're going to get a 9.8
all day. Yeah, and people don't want CBCS at this point.
That's right.
It's really hard to sell a CBCS slab.
Well, actually, I've been doing rather well with it, and I've been dipping into it. But the other point I was going to say to that question was, if you're looking at long term for any reason, I think CBCS, because eventually I think the flip is coming, man. I think it's coming.
It could.
I cannot deny BGS. I said it when they first bought them. They're gonna make moves, and it seems like I haven't got 198 from CBCS that I saw one flaw on at all. I don't know what else to say.
I only did one submission to CBCS on some signed books because I actually got a couple 9.8s with the green labels, scribble written on cover from CGC. So I got the books dirt cheap, and I was like, all right, I'm just going to send them to CBCS and get them in a red label. So I did do that, and I had 2 books come back. I was disappointed. I had one 9.8 Harbinger that came back a 9.4 with a check mark, and I was like, oh, God, what happened, And I just kind of put it in the bin and didn't worry about it. And the other 2, I believe, were both 9.8s. Then I thought they'd be 9.8s. But the turnaround time was so horrendous, I was like, I'm never doing this again. They had my books for 7 months, and I was just pissed. And, we're not going to get into turnaround times, but that's something they need to fix as well.
I guess what I'm trying to say is, well, I guess I've already said it. But I don't mind buying. I'm starting to buy. Like I said, I have a friend that is a witness. He has a company, and they do massive amounts of CBCS signings. So they go to Art German, they get 150 books signed by him. Right?
Wow.
And then he's got to liquidate 9.2s and 9.4s for dirt cheap because they grade so strict. But when he has a 9.8, I buy it because it's still cheaper. And I know that it's high grade quality. And that's what's crazy, because it's easier for me to buy from him than to send away, because
Yeah.
sending a book away, I don't know what I'm going to get. And the turnaround time again takes a long time. But I truly think eventually in the future, people are going to start realizing this, and CBS's prices or stock or whatever is going to start going up. I read recently that they opened a business, a grading service in Canada now. I mean, they're really trying to do different things. And I think their turnaround time's starting to get better. I don't know. I don't want to get into it, but I'm going to ask you one more question because I think it's very interesting, and then we'll talk about spec a little bit because I don't want to keep you guys forever. It's Easter. But we were talking about, because we were both sport cards guys, you said something about a grading thing, which I love.
Yep.
Now, if you guys don't know, I'll let you explain how that worked on the cards, and then you can talk about it towards comic books. I think it's a really good idea.
Sure. So, you know, I don't know when Beckett grading services came in with sports cards. I can't remember. You know, it was probably late 90s or something like that. They came out with subgrades, okay? So you would have 4 subgrades and an overall grade for your card. So they would do corners, which is just the grade on the corners. They would do edges, just the grades on the edges. And they would do surface, which is the front and back. So you would have 4 different subgrades and then an overall grade. And people ate that up, and they were really tough. You know, they didn't, you know, to give an example, a Beckett 9 is worth more than a PSA 10, okay, all day, every day.
Yeah.
And a Beckett 9.5 is worth 5 or 10 times a PSA 10.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a Beckett 9.5 is like a CGC 9.9. And a Beckett 10, you know, on the right card, God only knows what they're worth. So when Beckett bought CBCS, I got really excited. I was like, yes, you know, this is going to be freaking really awesome. I was like, first thing I need to do, drop the CBCS name, throw that in the trash. Beckett Comic Grading, BCG. Come out with all the subgrades. I want to see spine. I want to see corners. I want to see, you know, bindery, you know, tears or you know, top and bottom bindery. I want to see pages. I want to, dude, I want 10 freaking subgrades on a book, you know? It's like, I was really excited, and I was like, all right, when are they going to make their move? And then just nothing happened. And I was like, oh man, come on. This is what Beckett did with sports cards. Just do the exact same thing with the comics. And, you know, CGC would probably make a move and start doing the same thing. I don't, you know, they're the 800-pound gorilla. They're not going to let the little company just wipe them out. Probably. They'd be like, oh, they're doing subgrades now. We need to do that. But regardless, it's going to be good for the community, and people will eat it up. If I have a 9.8 and it says spine is a 10.0, guess what? That book's going to sell for a premium.
100%. That's exactly how it worked in the card game back when I was dealing the cards. You know, if you had a 9.5, right, and it was 9.5, 9.5, 9.5, 9.0, or whatever, you know, that's how that would be a 9.5. Like, dang it, I just missed it, or whatever, you know, or actually a 9.5, 9.5. No, okay.
Yeah, two 9.5s and 2 9.0s. They give it a 9.5.
But it was more like 10.
Yeah, 10. Maybe you had like a 110 and all the rest 9.5s.
Yeah,
and that would go for a premium.
Yeah, 9.5. So that, I mean, I agree 100%. I think that would be really cool. I think it's too much, and maybe they have some sort of agreement where they couldn't do that. But there is no doubt in my mind, and I wanted to make that clear myself and with someone that has tons more knowledge than I do, I think, in regard to is how many books he's getting in, that there's something going on. And you know, whether you take it as CBCS is grading lower and it's kind of upsetting, but I'm still going to get it with CGC, you know, or CBCS is grading higher and I'm thinking about changing. Regardless how you take it, these two things are happening.
Correct.
And I think it's going to affect the market. People are going to start noticing. And I knew it a year ago. I knew something was going to happen. You were just like you were really excited. And that's what I've witnessed over the last year with all the dealings I've done outside of YouTube and my own personal grading and companies and stores, and people are upset.
Well, I'll tell you what, dude, there's an old saying that's as old as the comic book industry itself. Buy the book, not the grade. Okay. Stick to that and you'll be fine. I mean, if you're buying on eBay, you don't really have much of a choice, but ask for more pictures. Hey, if here's just a blurry picture of a 9.8, hey, you know what? Can you send me some really good pictures? I want like 3 or 4 pictures of the spine. I want the corners. Ask for pictures, man. That's your own research. Do your research so that you make sure you're buying the right book. If you're at a convention and you have 10 9.8 spread out, I promise you I'll find the best looking one. You know? I'll look me out. This is the 9.8 I want, you know, not these other ones.
And that's the thing is, a year ago, you didn't I mean, yeah, some people would still care, like you're saying, but a year or 2 years ago, if it was a 9.8 slabbed, you did not care because you knew it was quality. But now the fact that you have to check or be concerned that a 9.8 is actually a 9.4 or so, you know, I mean, it's ridiculous. So that's just what I've seen. I think we kind of beat that to death. Well, I think we did well on that. Again, I have one more conversation I want to talk to you about. But again, you guys, we have almost 60 people in here. Thanks for joining us. Happy Easter. I really
absolutely happy Easter, everyone.
Enjoy your family and all that. I really suggest my subs, and this is not, there's no reason except Jason at COMICCRYPTOSTOCK has mad knowledge and has the best unboxing videos I've ever seen. By far. I called my 50 graded book unboxing the greatest unboxing video of all time. And I'm telling you right now, I was wrong. It might have been the funnest to watch, but it sure wasn't the greatest.
Hey, you had the most 9 9s and 10s in one unboxing ever. You know, if we count the
name, I'll change the name then. But you know, going over there and seeing your amazing fantasies and all that, please, you guys, check him out. Sub. He doesn't do many videos, but when he does it, I mean, just look in the background behind him right now.
Yeah, this is tonight. This is tonight.
CGC boxes.
Right. No, and hey, you know, we can talk about this. All right. So this too, I don't know if you can see both of them.
Yep.
This is a 50 book pre-screen, right? And I got the dreaded short box.
Oh.
So we know this one's not going to be good, you know, and you can kind of tell how many you get when they charge your credit card. You're like, oh, you know, they didn't charge me full price. So we're gonna find out what happened here. You know, and I don't know. Did they damage my books? Did they reject them because they want me to resubmit them? You know, this is all these things go in my head. Like, are they trying to get more money out of me? They want it submitted twice. You know, who knows? And then up here we got some Faithless that I need to get.
Are those the bagged ones?
Yeah, I've got 30 of the bagged ones and 30 of the Mirka and Dolphos. 30 of each.
You didn't get the Lee Bermejo?
The bagged one. Is that the no? The Bermejo is what, the regular cover?
No, the Bermejo is the variant, and then the Adolfo, or no, is it Adolfo?
The Mirka and Dolfo is the one that's got like the color coming up like this. So they only made 500 of those.
Oh, that's something special. Oh yeah, man, I want to get my hands. I got to get my hands on one of those, okay?
Yeah.
But the poly bag one, I spec'd on the Bermejo, which is my mistake because I love him. But it was like a Batman Dam spec. But the bagged one, my God.
30 of them, brother.
Dude, I bought like 4. And I'm telling you, even though it's extremely explicit, that cover is sick. Like, that is hot.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Ryan. Sorry, Ryan. I appreciate it. We'll talk about it later. But hopefully you'll wait till about 7 o'clock or something to do that because I'd love.
No, it's gonna be late, dude. I gotta wait and make sure the kids are asleep. So it's gonna be between 9 and 10. We'll do this. I'll go through this first, and then we'll dive into these.
Yeah, I love watching because I could. Me and Pope Cerebus was in there last night talking. We watched for an hour and a half, just going, damn. Yeah. Like, what is going on?
And it sucks because I wasn't able to get into that live chat. I'll have the other phone so I can see the chat. But yeah, Pope was asking a lot of good questions about like how I move books and stuff like that. And I mean, just to quickly answer that, it's 99% eBay. You know, I try to get stuff off eBay when I can, but there just isn't another good option. And
I have another good option for you. You could do YouTube auctions.
Yeah, it's hard enough for me to go live at all. You know, maybe I'll
you'd be amazed.
You and you auction them for me, brother.
Hey, give me a percentage. I'll sell everything, dude. I need work.
There you go.
I need work. Okay, so again, we're there's so many people in here. You know, I think we're answering all the questions, so we're not getting a lot, which is great. We have 62 people in there. I wanted to talk about something else that's this is for my subs. You know, this is why people watch me. Speculation. It's been a hot topic. Some people don't want to talk about it. Some people do. I mean, look, you guys, I started this channel to give you guys information as early as I could because I was getting killed at comic book stores. And I said, you know what? This is ridiculous. For fun, I started a YouTube channel and I started giving the access early so people could see the stuff, you know, and purchase it before it hits eBay. Now I do a little spec, like maybe this will be hot, or that's a hot cover, or whatever. Or I'll do my keys of the week where I give a couple days early. This is your key. And it saves people time from doing the research. I do it all, and they can come watch within 10 or 15 minutes. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So that's what I'm doing. And of course, unboxings and fun stuff. And that's what my subs, which I love, watch. So my argument, and I know you're 100% behind this, but is that speculation is keeping the comic market going. As much as we can hate it, we have to love it too, because it's some of our favorite hobby. It's something we're passionate about. And, you know, without the movies and without different spec, who knows where we'd be right now? I mean, enjoy.
I know where we would be. We would not have physical copies of comics. It'd be
Oh,
as simple
all
as that.
digital. You're
all digital,
right.
And there would be no LCSs or the LCS would only be selling vintage stuff. It's as simple as that. We wouldn't have this industry.
Yeah, real quick, and we'll keep talking. James Hardy asked, and I pretty much have the answer, but I'll talk about it anyway. What I hate are Newton rings. I hate pre-ordering, and there's one right in Batman's face. You know if they're solving that problem at all? And my answer to that is no, I don't know, and they're not. And it's happening with other companies too.
Yeah.
So, and Complexer said speculation would not be a thing if it wasn't for movies. And I kind of agree to that. But thank God, I think, in my mind, that those movies, Iron Man 10 years ago, came out. What would we do if it didn't come out? Where would the comic book market be? And I agree with you 100%, Jason. We would be reading them on our phones.
Yep. And to answer the question about the Newton rings, okay, I've done this myself. You can sometimes take the book and tweak it like this a little bit and push on it and move that Newton ring around. And I've gotten it to where I've minimized them or gotten to go away. Because basically what's happening is the two pieces of plastic push together and it creates that effect. And I'll tell you what, I had two pieces of plexiglass at work and the plexiglasses touch each other. And I was like, oh shit, Newton rings.
Yeah.
You know, so this happens with materials, and it doesn't really have to do with their case. But if one's bugging you and it's like, oh my God, it's on Spider-Man's face, just tweak the case a little bit, take your thumb and push on the plastic, and you can move it around and sometimes get it to disappear.
Now, could you get rid of it with like a blow dryer? I never thought about that.
Well, you know, I've never tried that. I've just kind of just tweaked it, moved it around, and gotten stuff to
like squeeze it. I always
squeeze it and push, you know, and just push on the slab, and you'll move it around, it'll go away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree, Big Will. But so what is your, I mean, are you happy about I mean, for some people, they can make it a great business. Unfortunately, I'm trying to get back into that. But unfortunately, I'm a damn hoarder.
Yeah, it's me too, dude. It's you know, we all, you know, yes, we're speculating, we're investing, and then I love the books too, you know. So it's like I did a Amazing Spider-Man 5 that I unrestored, you know, got it from a 9.2 restored to an 8.5 unrestored. Great increase in value, and I was like, okay, I need to sell it, and I'm like, no. When am I going to get another 8.5 ASM 5? Yeah, I'm keeping it. You know?
I have a question about your Amazing Fantasy. So you cracked a 5.0 restored, right?
Correct.
And you pressed it. Now, are you sending it to CGC to be unrestored and graded?
Yes, it's at CGC right now.
Can I ask you? I don't know if you want to tell me.
Sure, that's fine. Yeah.
How much did you pay for the 5.0 restored?
We paid $25,000 for it.
Jesus, so you and a team bought it?
Yeah, there's multiple people invested in that thing. There was no way I could have done it myself.
Okay, so you paid $25,000 for a restored copy. Quick question. Yep. At a 5.0 unrestored, what are those going for? Do you have any idea?
Dude, I don't even know. I'm thinking between 45 and 50,000.
Okay, so do you remember what type of restoration it was?
It said very light color touch.
Now, okay, so that's just one little area, very small.
Who knows? Who knows? We'll find out because I took a crap ton of pictures of it, and when it comes back, we'll see.
Okay, now you turned it. Okay, I don't know how that messes with the grade. I feel like they graded the book first, and then they put the color touch and called it restored. Is that maybe possible? And then, so if you press the 5.0, what do you think you got out of it?
I'm not sure, man. My grading expertise is in modern books, and when we get into the mid-grade Silver Age stuff, you know, I'm not lost, but it seems like I can be off like a bit. Where it's like more like a modern book in the 9s, I'm only going to be off, you know, 0.2 of a grade or whatnot. But the older stuff, anyway. So I'm really happy with the way it came out.
I saw it. It looked a lot better.
Yeah, you know, it's everything didn't come out perfect, but it's a mid-grade book, so how could it? You know, so my presser charged me $100 to do that, which I thought was amazing.
On that book?
Yeah.
Holy! How much was CGC charge to press that book?
Well, I'll tell you, because I have it in for a pre-screen for a pressing, because who knows if they're doing the color touch and the guy tweaks it, then I'm going to get hit. So they want $625 to press that book. So I'm hoping that they go, oh, it doesn't need a press. I'm going to be like, yes, you know, I just saved, you know, $500.
Oh, they're not going to say that, dude. You're crazy.
Well, they did on the Amazing 5. They didn't press it, and I was very shocked, but they didn't press it.
Hang on one sec. Sorry about that. So, yeah, but this is Amazing Fantasy 15, bro.
They're probably going to take my money. I'm sure they will.
So, my question, I think what you're doing is amazing. I mean, people don't, not a lot of people think, oh man, I'm not going to buy a restored. So a lot of people do buy super low grade restored books just so they can have it.
Just so they can have it.
In my mind, though, I can't myself. If it's restored, I freak out. But
I do
rather,
too.
Yeah, I'd rather buy a low grade, unrestored, you know, or regular. But I love the fact that you as a team got a team of people and you bought a restored 5.0 Amazing Fantasy, and you got together as a team, and you're gonna get it, you pressed it, and you're gonna get it unrestored, and then if it's like color touch, it can't be that bad, bro. It can't be that bad.
That's what I'm thinking.
And then
I'm hoping to keep it the same grade. Maybe it'll go up if we get really lucky.
Yeah, and even if you doesn't go up and you get the same grade, you've doubled or maybe even tripled your money. I love that idea, and I would love to do that, but I'm broke. But
well, and I every single time I do one of these, and I've done a few. This is like the 4th one I've shown on YouTube, I believe. I warn people. I'm like, please do not think that you can do this. You know, I really know what I'm doing. There's lots of restoration that could go horribly wrong. And, you know, it's just, you know, I'm showing you it's possible, but please, you know, it's like, you know, hey, don't try this at home, you know, be very careful. You know, if you want to experiment, please don't go mortgage your house and buy some restored AF-15 and then come back to me pissed off because it didn't work out, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that's a risky business, but at the same time, I mean, I think investing in a slight color touch restored is probably the best bet.
Correct. That's what I'm hunting for. And you need to make sure it's professional too, because now I have done some that were amateur color touch, but they're lower grades. You know, like a high grade. I mentioned this. I give this as an example. Take a Amazing 300, okay, and if it's got Sharpie on the top and the bottom, that's slight color touch, very small amount of amateur color touch. But by the time they rip the spine apart on the top and the bottom, your 9.8 slight color touch just dropped to 8.0. You know, so.
Yeah,
you got to be very careful.
Hang on one second. Ryan Atkins, a friend of mine, he gave a super chat. I said, hit that like button, click the bell, and support your content creators whenever you can with whatever you can afford. Thanks for the content. Ryan, thank you so much. Happy Easter to you and to everyone again. Please, you guys, I seriously suggest, I wouldn't just say this. Check out Comic Crypto Stock's channel. I mean, it's unbelievable. So are you like 10 away from 7,000 or something?
I don't know, something like that, man.
Now it's all relative, but I mean, you originally did your channel on like marijuana or
yeah, so I was talking about just crazy alternative investments. So what I was focusing on was comic books, weed stocks, and cryptocurrencies. And I kind of weed stocks and cryptocurrencies went in the toilet over the whole last year, so I quit talking about them. But you know, Bitcoin I think is a good time to buy if you're looking at that again. But you know, what I was really kind of trying to do is get some people so that maybe people that aren't even part of the comic book community can realize that this is a solid investment. You know, maybe you're a stockbroker and you got too much money in stocks. Well, buy a couple freaking big dollar books and you're not going to be disappointed.
Well, yeah, and especially older books. I mean, I completely agree. See, it's like there's a lot of best kept secrets. I think the baseball card game's kind of dead, but depending on the card. But in regard, and I said this once before in another video, in regard to comic books, we're talking about best of both worlds, art and writing. And those have been some of the most traded, spec'd on things since the beginning of time. And it's still now you got both. And these older books are harder and harder and harder to get. And there are groups of people that are they're buying them all up.
They're hoarding, man. They're hoarding.
And that's like the secret. And a lot of all our subs, they know this. Some can't afford it, some can, and I can afford bare minimum, you know. And but besides that, you know, there's a whole nother secret level of comic book art and original pages. That is like the top tier of comic book collecting.
Yep.
The original art. And I know personally of many major collectors that have been buying up Kirby and stuff like that for 40 years, you know, and they're hoarding. And I know you got some original art recently. I have a couple behind me, but I love it. And you know, I'm not trying to switch a topic, but comic book collecting, reading, enjoying is part of it. I always buy 2 copies, you know, one to read, one I pick the best one and I'll put it away. And I enjoy the reading. But if you're smart about it and you really do your homework, you can make a pretty good living depending on buying and selling based on spec and old books as well, and hoarding and whatever. This comic book thing, there's so many avenues. There's so many avenues you can go. But for me and you, I mean, I basically really for you 100%. I mean, you're specking hard, dude.
Yeah.
I watch it. I'm like, damn, I wish I could do that.
Yeah, it's you know, it's kind of funny because I've been speculating even when I was a kid working in a baseball card and comic book shop. One of my dad's friends who's passed away now, his name was John Gorman. He was a lawyer. He came to me and said, I want to invest $1,000 a month into comic books. I was like, okay, I'll help you. You know, so I was putting him into some stuff, and back then it was all new stuff. But at some point I said, you know what, John, I need to put you in something else. This is called Magic the Gathering. Okay? I put him into a shit ton of Magic the Gathering. And I wish he would have called me when it was time to sell it, but I mean, I made him a fortune. You know, I literally made him a fortune. I spec'd Magic the Gathering. At that point in time, you'd have to have a crystal ball to find the best thing on the planet to spec on, and that would have been it. So I put him into that. Also in like the early 2000s, I spec'd on the Ultimate Spider-Man white variants. I did that. I bought some Punisher first appearances and stuff like that. And I was buying, you know, Amazing Spider-Man VGs, you know, number ones for $1,000 and flipping those and doing stuff. And then unfortunately I left the hobby and then came back in about 2015. I wish I would have kept going because my collection would be, you know, far superior to what it is now if I'd have stuck with it from the early 2000s.
Well, I think that's kind of the horror story for all of us that are actually into buying and selling and collecting. I mean, I've built complete Fantastic Four collection. I built Hulk collection. I built every collection. I've had 3 full X-Men runs. I've sold them all, and only because financially I was struggling. And so you know, and I'm in that position again. I'm doing everything I can to hold on. Someone mentioned in the chat, hey, what about that original David Mack original art that you sold, a Marilyn Monroe cover piece? And I said, yeah. In my mind, I'm reading it like, you son of a gun. But yeah, it hurt. But at the same time, it went to a great place, Thorough Q Burrow. I've been selling him a lot of great stuff, and I know that he's going to appreciate it just as much as I did. Now I'm holding on to dear life to what I have behind me. They're not major, but they're important to me. And it's just part of the game. And we all suffer for it. I mean, yeah, I wish I could say I still have that FF collection from 8 years ago, or I still have all that Hulk. I mean, dude, I had a slabbed Hulk, right? I've had 2 already. I had one Stanley. I sold it because I needed money. Then I had another one slabbed, 7.5, trip signed, Herb, Stan, Will and Wayne. They're all gone.
All gone.
And I'll never get that back.
Yeah.
Let's see real quick. Just someone asked, I'm going to go back just a little bit because I saw something interesting. Big Will ask, does pre-1946 restored books still freak you out? I think he's asking you.
Yeah, you know, so me personally, okay, go back to restoration in the 80s. If the restoration was done correctly and it looked nice, that book was worth just as much as an unrestored copy. It wasn't until like the early 2000s when CGC came on board and decided to put restored in a big purple label that stuck out with like a sore thumb that people started to really not want restored books. So I think all restored books are a bargain right now. You know, if I can get a restored book, you know, for a third or 20% of what a unrestored one costs, I think they're a bargain. You know,
yeah, I agree with you.
If it's a book that's impossible to, all right, I'll give a little spoiler. Okay, I have 2 massively huge restored books that I'm going to be unboxing. I don't know, and maybe a year from now or 2 years from now, because it takes forever to get them back. So I've got A Journey into Mystery, 83. That was a 9.0 restored. Okay, I've got that in, and it's being re-restored professionally because it had amateur restoration, and Mike over at Hero Restoration is doing that one for us. Me and another friend of mine are partners in that. And then I have a Hulk #1, 8.0 amateur restoration, you know, that's going to get fully restored.
An 8.0.
8.0 Hulk 1.
Holy shit.
Dude, I'm telling you, the book was gorgeous. I was like, oh my God, this is an $80,000 book that, because someone back in the 70s or 80s did something really tiny to it, that we were able to get for like $10,000.
So, hey, Tank, hey, everybody. So you're getting it unrestored or professionally? You're not doing the unrestored?
We can't unrestore these 2. These 2 are it's amateur restoration that can't be removed. So the only choice is to go forward with a professional restoration. And I was actually discussing this the other day. I am thinking seriously about sending those 2 books to Tony at EGS to get him to grade them. I think it'd be great for his company. He can show them off on his website. Unfortunately, we're going to sell them, so I can't keep them like that. But I think it would be fantastic for him to have a chance to grade them. Then I'll take them, I'll crack them, and then send them off to CGC. Or actually, you know what? I wouldn't crack them. I'll leave them in the slabs and have CGC crack them as a crossover service. Yeah, but I'll
not only
off in his slab.
Yeah, not only will he be holding like a house in his hand.
Correct.
It'll be a test.
Yeah, it'll be a test for him, and it'll show like, hey, look, he just graded a couple books that, if unrestored, are $250,000 books.
I don't even think he's in here right now. When you said it, I know I love the guy, okay? But you know, when you said it, I was like I didn't know what to say. I was like, damn, that's really awesome. So hopefully he sees that and he's you know, what's funny. Oh, there he is. He says he can raw grade them. That's what she said. That's raw dog. Sorry.
I don't know what they would do. I would definitely need to still have it go to the crossover service because I still want CGC to
Well, he offers that service where you can
yeah.
do a raw grade and it's accessible.
Yeah.
And
I
without
think
slabbing.
that for the crossover service, it needs to be sealed. So I think we'll have him just do his regular, slab service on it. Where I can't remember what he calls it, expert grading is his top tier on that.
Well, that's amazing. I really hope Tony's in here again. That would be incredible for him. I think that to be able to do that. By the way, you can use my coupon code over there with him.
Oh, there we
go. No, he's actually sending me. I kept telling him, people have been reaching out to me. Bill, will you press my book? Will you press my book? Because I've been doing pressing videos and they've been turning out pretty nice. And Tony said, "Dude, will you press my book?" I said, "Look, man, I really don't want to get into it. I don't consider myself a professional. I'm just messing around." And he just wouldn't take no for an answer. He'd send me some money and he sent some God damn it, I can't even tell this guy no. But I love Tony. He's a great guy. Honestly, there's been a lot of people in and out of here. We're still at 57. I want everyone to enjoy their Easter. I really appreciate everyone stopping by. I think we should probably close shop because we're about a couple minutes off of an hour. But again, sure. I would love to stress to everybody, please check out COMICCRYPTOSTOCK on YouTube. His stuff is unreal. When you watch it, you're going to be like, I can't believe I never, if you're already subbed, then you know. But for my subs, everyone's subs are different, For my subs, when you go over there, you're going to want to sub. It's amazing. Now,
yeah, I mean, dude, I think I found your channel when you had about 400 or 500 subs on it. And same thing with like Comic Tom. I found him at about 400 subs, and Reggie at like 400 or 500 subs. So yeah, I mean, there's still always new content creators out there that are popping up that are putting out some good stuff.
Well, hey, I appreciate it, and I mean, for you though, I think you deserve a lot more people over there to really see. And I've been working with Jason on some other, he's part of he is the reason that I've been able to offer you guys the first look at the low print specials from Exchange Collectibles and stuff like that. He reached out to me, which is so great for us and the channel and them. And again, I really want to tell you, I appreciate it very much, Jason. And that's not why you're on the show. But yeah, you're on the show because you have knowledge, and that's very important to me. So I hope that we raised some eyebrows and maybe answer some questions for people out there that are actually looking for these type of speculation answers and thoughts about CGC and CBS as it's going, and a look at a Tony Trombetta at EGS and all the options and special things that are here to come in the future for everybody. Happy Easter. And Jason, thanks again, man. Thanks for coming by. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, and happy Easter, everyone.
And that's it. That's it. Go eat some food and enjoy your family, and we'll see you soon, guys. Have a great one, okay?
Guys.
Bye-bye.
Later.